What if I told you that your financial life won't change because of one big decision, and not because of motivation, and not because of sudden success, but those moments feel powerful, but they fade, because real financial change doesn't happen in one big dramatic moment. It happens quietly, in the small, almost invisible money decisions you repeat every single day, and that's why most people stay stuck financially, because they keep waiting for a big breakthrough or sudden success. But real wealth, it builds silently through the smallest financial choices no one talks about. So right now, millions of people feel stuck with money, not because they're lazy and not because they lack of talent, because they underestimate the tiny money habits that slowly rewire how you think about money and reshape your financial identity in 2026. So in this video, I'm going to share 20 tiny money habits, and they won't make you rich overnight. But if you stick with them long enough, they quietly transform your income, discipline, and your confidence with money, and finally, financial freedom. So stay until the end, because the final habit is the one most people ignore. And that's why most people stay stuck with financially. So without further delay, let's get into the video. Habit number 1, check balance daily. See, most of the people avoid looking at their money because it makes them uncomfortable. But avoiding, it doesn't make the problem go away. It creates ignorance. And ignorance is what keeps people stuck and broke. But wealthy people think differently. They don't guess, they accept the reality. Because when you check your money every day, even for a few seconds, then something powerful happens. You become more aware, and you start understand where your money is really going. Then awareness creates control. So this habit doesn't take hours, just 5 seconds a day. Because once you see the truth, your behavior slowly changes. And when your behavior changes, then your financial life starts to change too. Habit number 2, learning money skills. Not scrolling through finance drama, just real learning. So read one page about investing and watch 10 minutes on business or money skills and learn one simple idea about taxes. Then do this every single day. In 1 year, you'll build over 60 hours of financial education without feeling overwhelmed. And here's the truth most people miss. Money grows with knowledge, and knowledge compounds even faster than interest. So start small, stay consistent, and let learning do the heavy lifting. Habit number 3, track every expense. See, every dollar has a direction. If you don't decide where it goes, then it quietly disappears. So you don't need complex spreadsheets or fancy budgeting apps. You just need to write things down, like your coffee, subscriptions, and your impulse buys. And when you see where your money is leaking, then you finally know what to fix. Because when you close the small gaps, then you stop the silent waste. And slowly, your money stops slipping away and starts staying with you. Habit number 4, pay yourself first. See, most of the people spend first and save whatever is left. But wealthy people reverse the order. They pay themselves first. Because if you wait to save, at the end of the month, there's usually nothing left. So when money hits your account, move a small percentage aside. Maybe it's 5% or 10%. Start small, but start first. Not after bills and not after shopping, but pay yourself first. Because wealth isn't built by what you earn. It's built by what you keep. Habit number 5, delay before buying. Emotion is expensive. It feels good for a moment, but it always sends the bill later. But discipline feels uncomfortable at first, but over the time, it pays you back. So when you wait just 24 hours, then something powerful happens. The craving slowly fades, and your emotions calm down, and your logic comes back. That's when your savings grow. Not because you earned more, but because you chose better. And most purchases aren't planned. They're emotional reactions, and emotional spending slowly destroys wealth without making any noise. So pause before you buy, and give yourself time. Then decide from clarity. Habit number 6, increase your income. So don't aim to double your income. That goal feels heavy, and it creates pressure. And pressure often leads to inaction. So instead, ask yourself this: how can I earn just a little more this month? Maybe it's one small freelance project, or maybe it's learning a skill that makes you more valuable. Because the small raises don't stay small, they compound over the time. So grow your income by just 1% each month, and average earners slowly turn into financially strong and confident people. Because big change doesn't come from big jumps. It comes from small wins, repeated consistently. Habit number 7, 30-minute skill upgrade. Skills that matter more than anything. So learn skills like coding, writing, marketing, sales, AI tools, and communication. Because the marketplace doesn't reward noise, it rewards value. And value is built in quiet moments, especially in the early morning. Because when the world is silent and your focus is strong. So just 30 minutes a day may not feel like much, but over 1 year, that becomes 180 hours of learning. So that's not a habit, that's a career shift. That's how ordinary mornings create extraordinary lives. Habit number 8, automate investments. If you depend on willpower to invest, it usually won't happen because willpower fades. Emotions get in the way. That's why automation matters. Because when investing happens automatically, you don't overthink and you don't delay. So set up automatic transfers to your index funds and retirement accounts. And once it's set, the habit runs on its own. And remember this, you don't rise to your goals, you fall to your systems. So build a system that works for you. Habit number 9, understand wealth builders. So study real patterns, not fantasies, and don't chase overnight success stories, but learn from people who actually build things. So read about builders, founders, and investors, not just what they achieved, but how they think and how they make decisions, how they fail and still come back stronger. Because success is not random. Wealth leaves clues, and most of those clues are in the mindset, not the strategy. So get the thinking right first, and the strategy will follow. Habit number 10, protect your energy. Energy is your real power, but when you're always tired, distracted, or reacting to everything around you, then you can't be focused. And that's why basics matter. Sleep well, and move your body a little every day, and eat with awareness, not on autopilot. And when your energy is stable, then productivity follows, and productivity creates income. But burnout does the opposite. It slowly destroys your focus, your motivation, and your earning ability. So you cannot build wealth on an exhausted body and a drained mind. That's why energy comes first, then everything else depends on it. Habit number 11, daily network connection. Make one real connection every single day. That's 365 connections in 1 year. So send a thoughtful message and leave a meaningful comment and reach out with genuine intention. And you don't need to impress anyone. You just need to be real, because most of the opportunities don't come from job boards. They come from people, and people don't remember perfection. They remember consistency. Show up a little every day, and doors start opening quietly. Habit number 12, track your net worth. See what you measure, it improves. So your net worth equals assets minus liabilities. So when you watch the number grow, then you feel motivated. And when you see it shrink, then you feel urgency. But both feelings are useful because both push you to act. So money is like a scoreboard. If you never look at the score, you never know how you're really doing. So check it, because awareness is where wealth begins. Habit number 13, problem solving. See, complaining feels like you're doing something, but it doesn't move your life forward. It only keeps you stuck in the problem. So next time something frustrates you, then pause and ask yourself, how can I fix this? Because every problem is a signal that something needs a solution. And every business in the world exists for one reason, to solve a problem. So when you train your mind to look for solutions, then you stop feeling powerless. Then you start seeing opportunities in places where others only see inconvenience. That mindset is what separates people who struggle from people who build something valuable. Habit number 14, learn say no. See, every time you say yes, you pay a price of your time, energy, and focus. That's why success is not just about working more. It's about choosing carefully, because real wealth is built through deep work that needs silence, focus, and effort. And deep work only grows when you protect it. So protect your time and energy, because distraction is not harmless. Distraction is expensive. Habit number 15, surround with winners. See, your environment shapes your income. If the people around you avoid growth, you slowly start to believe staying the same is normal. But when you surround yourself with builders, investors, and people who think long-term, then your standards rise. Then you start expecting more from yourself. You aim higher without even forcing it, and income often follows standards. That's why who you spend time with matters more than you think. So choose your circle carefully. Habit number 16, weekly goal review. See, most of the people set goals once and then slowly forget them. Then days pass, weeks pass, and life pulls them off track. That's why a weekly review matters. It brings you back into alignment. Once a week, pause and ask yourself, what worked this week and what didn't work? And what is the one thing that will move my life forward next week? People who build wealth and success adjust fast. They notice what's not working and fix it early. People who stay stuck don't adjust. They drift slowly without realizing it. So reflection is what stops that drift. and it keeps you intentional and in control. Habit number 17, cancel subscriptions. See, silent expenses are dangerous. They slowly kill your progress. You don't feel them and notice them, but every month they steal your money. That's why you must audit your monthly charges. Look closely at things like streaming platforms you rarely use, or apps you forgot you even installed, or premium tools you pay for but never touch. These may look small, but small leaks can sink big ships, so find the leaks and plug them. Habit number 18, practice negotiation. Start by negotiating small things like fees, rates, contracts, and deadlines. But you don't need to be aggressive. You just need to ask, because every time you speak up, your confidence grows, and not overnight, but through repetition. But most of the people stay silent, not because they can't ask, but because they're afraid to try. See, money doesn't move toward the loud. It moves toward the assertive, the ones who respect their own value. Habit number 19, invest in assets. See, status is temporary. You're only borrowing it. But assets are different. They pay you back. Cars lose value over the time, and clothes wear out, and gadgets become old and useless. But assets grow. They work for you even when you're not working. Like stocks can compound, and businesses can create income, and skills can increase your value, and real estate can build long-term wealth. So status tries to impress people, but assets build your future. So choose ownership over appearance. Habit number 20, step into discomfort. This is the moment that changes everything. The line between staying stuck and moving forward. Just do one small action that feels slightly uncomfortable, like send the proposal, raise your rates, apply for the opportunity, and start the side project. And it doesn't have to feel safe. It just has to move you forward. Because wealth doesn't live in comfort. It lives just outside it. And every time you step into discomfort, then your confidence grows, and your skills grow, and your income potential grows. Because courage builds on itself, just like money. The truth about getting rich. See, you won't wake up wealthy on one day, but you'll wake up slightly better, smarter, and more disciplined. Because tiny habits don't look impressive at first. They feel boring and pointless. So you don't see much change at first, but one day, everything starts moving faster. That's called compounding. But most of the people quit right before this moment. They stop when results are still invisible. But don't be most people. Stay, repeat, and let it grow. So pick just 3 habits, not 10, and not 20. Just 3 habits you can actually stick to, and commit to them for the next 90 days. Track them every single day. Protect them like they matter, even on days you feel tired, bored, or unmotivated. And over the time, something powerful happens. These habits stop feeling like tasks. They start becoming part of who you are. And you don't just do the habit anymore. You become the kind of person who does it. And that's the real secret. Because wealth isn't luck, and it isn't some hidden shortcut. It's alignment. Alignment between what you do every day and the future you say you want. If you've stayed until this point, type compounding in the comments. Not for me, but as a promise to yourself. And start today, not tomorrow, and not next week. Because 2026 is already moving, and opportunity never waits for anyone. So don't wait. Start today.